Hello, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you're returning viewer, I'm glad to have you back. And welcome to another episode of Justin Talks Games. I haven't put a video up in a couple of days, probably about a week now, because I've been sick. So that's the reason for that. But I've seen so many posts within the last couple of weeks, like 2-3 weeks, maybe even longer. And it's all would you guys like Resident Evil 1 remake in the new engine and the new style? What do you guys think? And what would you guys think of this? What would you guys think of that? Blah blah blah. Resident Evil 1. A lot of them are bait posts because a lot of them, if you don't agree with them, they tell you that your answer isn't acceptable. And the fact of Resident Evil 1's been remade, that's not an acceptable answer, And basically, if you don't agree with them, then they just want you to say yes. I want a Resident Evil 1 remake. They want you to say it blindly, right? These people. I just shake my head at it, and I usually don't comment and stuff. I see a lot of these on Facebook, Resident Evil groups, and on Reddit and YouTube comments and stuff. But I thought I would give my thoughts and opinions. I haven't done a video in a while, again, because I've been sick. And I don't really want to do a video, like a full video, like Fallout. If I'm going to be coughing every 10-15 seconds or something like that, like my chest is all sore, from coughing and stuff. So I just thought I would do a video giving my opinion, since it's apparently a hot topic right now. Everybody thinking about a Resident Evil 1 remake in the RE engine, and in the new third-person style, whatever. So I thought I'd give my 2 cents, my opinion, I guess. Whether it's relevant or not, it's up to you guys. Whether you guys think my opinion, my thoughts on the matter are important, that's up to you guys. Do we need one? No, I don't think so. Would it be amazing and wow and cool? Probably not, for a couple of reasons I'll get into in a minute. Would I buy it and play it? Yes, I would. It would go on my shelf over there. Over there. My Resident Evil shelf. I got a whole bunch of stuff. As you guys see, I have a whole entire Resident Evil collection. So, that being said, yes, I would play it. And I would make it, I would put it on the channel for you guys. But do I think it's needed? No, I don't think it's needed. I think it would be changed way too much, honestly. It definitely wouldn't be the same. for a couple of reasons. They would have to rescale the whole mansion because of the camera change, right? Because the whole mansion would have to be 3D, right? Instead of it being a photo background, like they were in the originals and with Zero and Remake. So with 2, 3, and 4. Actually, no. Code Veronica 2. Code Veronica was after the very first Resident Evil game with a fully 3D environment, which a lot of people forget that. And that's another thing. Apparently these days it's the in thing to completely bash and hate on Code Veronica. So don't forget to get your do your daily hating on Code Veronica. Don't forget to do that. But yeah, so Veronica and then the three remakes are fully 3D environments. Um, so they'd have to rescale the mansion again because the environment would have to be changed to 3D, of course, because the camera changed. um, a lot of the puzzles would have to be changed too. Um, because let's face it, in a third person, you wouldn't be pushing boxes. You wouldn't be um, pushing the iron statues or anything like that. A lot of the puzzles, like I said, a lot of the puzzles would be changed. Um, the stained glass one would probably change. Would probably stay the same, um, and the same as um, the plant one too, where you take the herbicide and you drop it into the water dispenser thing. That would probably stay the same too. Um, I think the overall design of the mansion would definitely change too, because again, the mansion is very tight knit. It's very claustrophobic. The hallways, um, there's not very many big areas. Like the main hall in the mansion is a very big area. You got the Plant 42 big room in the guardhouse, and that's a big area. Um, Black Tiger, that area is pretty big. Um, and then you have the helicopter fight, or the helipad, where you fight the tyrant at the end. That's another big spot too. Um, those are the only really big open areas, really. Um, they would probably change the guardhouse up a little bit too, um, and they probably remove the blue herbs altogether because modern Capcom, for whatever reason, they're like, oh, if anything scares you, we'll just take it out, so you don't have to worry about being scared playing our games. So we all know they're gonna remove the spiders, um, which is absolutely stupid because the spiders are actually one of my favorite things in Resident Evil 1, especially in the guardhouse. I remember coming in the guardhouse, and you see blue herbs along the wall, and you see first walk in, and you're like, oh, okay, something in here can poison me. And you walk down the hallway, and you have a door here, and you keep going straight down, and then there's a hallway that goes this way. But if you keep going down, there's a set of big double doors. And when you go through those big double doors, there's a camera angle that is specific to this room, and it only happens once. Um, the door's here, so we'll say the door's here like this. Jill stands here like this. The camera points down or upwards from there. So technically, you're seeing it like this. So like, I don't know how to explain. Like basically, the camera is this way, and it's going upwards. So basically, you're seeing from the floor. So you're seeing it from the floor. So you see Jill stand there, and you see this big spider just crawl down the door behind her, and it's just like the coolest thing. And then you're like, oh shit, and then you're running, and then you go around and go up the stairs, and there's another spider up there, and you're like, oh god, the whole guardhouse is all full of like webs. It's all run down and all that, and there's bees and bugs and stuff. It's really really cool. Um, it's like insects and stuff, and I know that would be one big thing that they would change. They would completely change the guardhouse. They may keep the layout, but they would get rid of the spiders. They get rid of the bees. Any bugs, and they would get rid of it, and they would just put generic zombies or add like hunters or something there. So we know that would be changed. Um, what else? Um, I'm not too sure how the underground would work. Again, because everything is so confined, they'd have to rescale everything and make it bigger. Um, I don't think they would change the lab all that much, you know, because the lab is pretty small. And that's the thing too. Resident Evil One is not a very long game, um, and you're mostly by yourself. It's not like Resident Evil Two where you're running into um, side characters on the very odd occasion. 90% of the time, you're by yourself. Look at Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3, you're pretty much in contact with Carlos almost all the time. In Resident Evil 4, you have um, Ashley and Lewis, right? And whereas in 2, again, you have Marvin until he dies, and then you have Claire, who, I mean, he only really talks to her at the beginning and at the end, but still he still talks to Ben and Ada too, right? But again, like in Resident Evil One, um, depending on who you play as, say if you play as Chris, you see Wesker once, twice, three, maybe four times the entire game. Because you see him in the beginning, and then you see him in the beginning, then you see him at the guardhouse. You see him underneath the mansion where Lisa's mom's body is, and then you see him in the lab. If you play as Jill, you see Barry a couple times, but again, for the most part, you're pretty much by yourself. So it's a very isolated game. So most people will probably get bored. Either that, or they would change the game up a lot. But even from the things that I've already said, if they were to redo Resident Evil 1, there would be a lot of changes, and it wouldn't be this, grand, amazing thing. And I'm not saying it's going to be terrible, it's going to be bad. Never play it, never touch it, if they make it. I'm not saying that. I'm not automatically bashing on it, but I'm also trying to put out that realization that it wouldn't be the godsend that everybody thinks it would be. It would not be another 2002 Resident Evil 1 remake. It would not be that, that amazing thing. Because again, you also have to take a look at the track records of 2, 3, and 4. 2 was amazing. I loved Resident Evil 2 Remake. I thought they did a great job, but there's a lot of stuff missing from it. The whole B scenario was missing, right? Resident Evil 3, I really don't want to talk on that too much because that was just disappointing. And Resident Evil 4, I'll admit, Resident Evil 4 was a billion times better than the original because I wasn't a fan of the original one, as you guys know. But even then, I have nitpicks about 4 too. I wish there was more interaction between the characters. Like with Sadler, the very first time Leon sees Sadler is near the end of the game on the island. And then he sees him a second time. No, sorry, he sees him a total of 3 times, but almost in rapid succession, almost. Whereas in the original one, he sees him at the church in the beginning. Yeah, and then it's not till later on the island he sees him because he steals Ashley. Then, right when he captures or when he saves Ashley, because Ada comes in and helps, and then he fights him as a spider guy. So even then, like there's same thing with Salazar. Like I wish there was more interaction with characters. So whereas 4 is like, yes, it's so much better than the original one, it also does have, in my opinion, it does have its faults too. And the voice acting, like the voice actor for Krauser, oh, did not hit the mark. He sounds like he's trying to be cool. Like, hey rookie, how are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or something like that. Like, it's just, oh, the original voice actor for Krauser was much better. They kind of made him look younger too in the remake. But anyway, I'm getting way off topic here. But if you follow those traits of the remake so far, and you think of a remake of Resident Evil 1, and you think about how short Resident Evil 1 is already, because you can have that game done in, I think it's 2.5 hours. I think it is, to get the rocket launcher, which it's possible to beat it shorter than that. It's definitely it's possible. So we think about it. If you can beat it under 2.5 hours, right? I think there's people who beat it in like an hour and a half or something. You know, Again, it's not a very fast. It's not a very very long game. If you remake that, right? Is it going to be another Resident Evil 3? Because think, Resident Evil 3 remake. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but in this, for this example, Resident Evil 3, you can have it done in under an hour. I when I used to, because I played Resident Evil 3 remake a lot. I put over something stupid like 200-300 hours into that game. And that was because I wanted to 100% that game and then not touch it again, because that's how disappointed I was. So I put a lot of time into it, but I put a lot of time into it so that I could have everything done in it and then not touch it. So by having that game done in less than an hour, I think I had it. I think my fastest time was like 54 minutes or something. I know there people can have it done in a shorter time, but my time was 54 minutes having that game done. Now, by that logic, and by how I told you Resident Evil 1 Remake right now, you can have it done in less than 2 hours and 30 minutes if you speedrun it, if you're very, very good at it. If they were to remake it, right, with modern Capcom, how they're doing things now, right, what would they cut out? Well, aside from all the things I said, like the spiders and all this other stuff, what else would they cut from it? And, what else would they streamline, right, to make you be able to do it faster and more efficient and blah, 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 blah. It's just, that would be one of my biggest concerns, is what would they do to make it even shorter? Because Resident Evil 1 Remake, you can have that game done in less than 2.5 hours, or that game can take you like 8 hours. It is a very easy and very hard game at the same time, depending on what difficulty you're playing on. It's one of those games that's very balanced, right? For the easiest mode, you can just walk through everything, but on the hardest mode, one bite will screw you up. You'll be done. And that's what I love about Resident Evil 1 Remake. One thing I forgot to mention too was the Crimson Heads. I love that addition to the Resident Evil 1 Remake. A lot of people hate the Crimson Heads, but there's also a lot of people out there who do like them. So I'm not going to say everybody hates them, because there's a lot of people like me out there who do like them. What I like about them is that it gives you that extra layer of, like, you got a plan, right? So, because when you kill the zombies, for those of you who don't know what a Crimson Head is, in the remake of Resident Evil 1, when you killed a zombie, after a certain amount of time, the zombies would, if you go near them, they would jump up and they would chase you down the hall like no tomorrow, and they would not stop until you got to a door or anything. They would relentlessly chase you, and I loved it. You know, it definitely got you. It stressed you out. It was great. Um, it also made you plan too. So I got to like I'll give you an example here. Through the hallway, um, you come out a door. I'm doing it from like a top view, so you come in a door, go like this, and you go around like this, and you go around like this, and there's a stairway that goes down. Now, if you go back the opposite way, there's a hallway that goes this way. If you're following this, you may know the hallway I'm talking about. So the zombie here, you come around and you run past him. He follows you. You go halfway down the stairs. He walks. You shoot him, and you kill him at the top of those stairs. He falls down, and you think, okay, he's dead. So you just continue on doing whatever, and you get the I think it's the helmet key? No, not the helmet. Armor key. I can't remember which key it is, but you get one of the keys, and then it's at that point of the game where the zombies start jumping up. You go back to that hallway because you have to go downstairs, and you remember, and you're running, you're walking, you're running, and you still see the body there, and you're like, oh, okay, well. And as soon as you run past him, boom, he jumps up and he starts chasing your ass. You're low on health, you're low on ammo. You don't stop. There's zombies downstairs too. So you're either dead, or if you know where you're going, you're good. But, you know, it definitely adds to that. You know, and that's one thing I wouldn't want them to get rid of. I don't want them to get rid of the Crimson Heads. Now, they would probably slow them down or something. I don't know what they would do, but they probably slow them down or something. You know, the one thing I do have to give them props for are the hunters in Resident Evil 3. Those were amazing. And they're pain in the ass. But they were really cool. I will give them that. Anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. It's almost at half an hour. Like I said, I don't want you guys to think that this video is basically just me bashing, oh, if they did a Resident Evil remake, it'd be garbage. I'm not saying that, because again, like I said, I would buy it, of course, and I would play it for you guys, and it would go on my shelf, right? But I'm just don't want you guys to think that it would be this amazing, like, oh my god, Resident Evil 1. It would be this greatest thing, because it wouldn't be. It wouldn't have as an impact and a wow factor as the 2002 remake has. And again, I'm not saying it's going to be super bad, but I don't think it would be like this, like, awe-inspiring remake. So that's my thoughts and opinions on it. If you agree with me, leave a comment. If you disagree with me, feel free to leave a comment. You know, I like to hear everything, goods and bads, whatever you want to say. I don't know when follow-up videos will go up. Again, I'm slowly starting to feel better. But as you can tell throughout this video, I've been coughing a lot. My chest is sore too. Oh, no, you guys can't really see, but it's all down in here. It's all really, really sore from the coughing and stuff like that. But when I am a lot better, I will definitely continue follow-up for. Because I miss being out in the wasteland. You know, I miss doing videos for you guys. I want to get back out in the wasteland and do more episodes. You know, I've been really wanting to, but, you know, I don't want to be like, welcome to the follow-up for, oh, we're gonna go and talk to Sierra. You know, and you guys keep hearing that. I don't want to do that. But to have an update for that, I do have all Star Cores now, and I did get all of the Cappy secret numbers. So the next episode is going to be the last episode of Nuka World. So when I do that, That's what it's going to be. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Justin Talks Games. It was nice to be able to do one. It was nice to see you guys again. So, until then, I hope you all have a very, very good day.